Today I want to share some camera settings and tips that I use on the Canon 80D that will help you guys in the overall process of vlogging. Let's get into it. First, let's talk frame rates. For normal head talking shots like this, you're gonna wanna keep your frame rate at 24 frames per second. This is because this is the most cinematic and smoothest frame rate you're gonna get out of your camera. And since I don't plan to slow it down in post, we don't need to go any higher. Now, if you want some slow motion B-roll, that's when you're gonna wanna up your frame rate to 60 frames or even 120 frames per second if your camera allows it. The Canon 80D, which I'm filming on right now, only allows me to go up to 60 frames per second. So if I want cinematic B-roll, that's what I'm left with. Also, remember that your shutter speed should be double your frame rate. So if you are shooting in 24 frames per second, then your shutter speed is gonna wanna be 1/48th or 1/50th of a second. Oh my goodness, it's very windy out here. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I forgot my dead cat and it is extremely windy out here. So I'm gonna take you down to a spot that I found a few years ago. Right under this bridge, and I'll keep filming here. It's a little bit too windy up there. All right, so hopefully under the bridge here, it's a little bit less noisy. We do have some fish making a racket in the stream behind us. They're going upstream, but let's get on to the next thing on our list, which is white balance. It's a little bit different for each camera, but most cameras have white balance presets that you can plug in for different lighting conditions. I usually just manually set the white balance and leave it for that shot because that generally looks better for me. Next, let's talk about picture profile. Some people like shooting in flat picture profile, which basically turns down the saturation and contrast in your image so that when you go into post to color grade, you have a lot to work with. In this case, it really depends on what you are comfortable doing. I honestly never take the time to shoot in a flat picture profile because I know I'm getting good colors out of my Canon camera. If you don't want to do a whole bunch of color grading in post, shoot in standard picture profile because that will give you great colors off the bat. Another setting I would recommend turning on is the rule of thirds grid. This is really handy when you want to position yourself just right on camera. Also, if your lens does come with built-in image stabilization, definitely turn that on. It's really gonna help when you are vlogging and holding the camera around. If you want to learn more about the camera I'm using now, the Canon 80D, click the video right here where I go over in more detail about it. I will see you in the next video.